The latest is a voter suppression effort, a political advertisement that encourages Latino voters not to vote. The Republican 527 group responsible for it, called Latinos for Rich Republicans, that's Latinos for Reform, had purchased an $80,000 ad from Univision, but Univision has now refused to air it. Quoting a Univision spokesperson, Univision will not be running any spots from Latinos for Reform related to voting. Univision prides itself on promoting civic engagement, and our extensive national campaigns encourage Hispanics to vote. But the ad from the conservative 527 group encourages just the opposite. Here's the end of the English version.
Don't vote this November. This is the only way to send them a clear message. You can no longer take us for granted. Don't vote.
The Spanish version of the ad was intended to sway Nevada Latinos not to vote. Gee, I wonder why they don't want Latinos voting. Could it be because the Republican Party has lost the Latino vote? If they're not going to vote for you, make sure they don't vote at all. Classy strategy. But the man behind that, the conservative political consultant Robert de Posada, has said this about Republican senatorial candidate Sharon Angle. Quote, "I can't ask people to support a Republican candidate who has taken a completely irresponsible and bordering on racist position on immigration." But funny enough, the ad shows nothing but Democrats. And not just the Nevada candidate, Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid, but also President Obama, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, I don't know what she's doing in a Nevada ad, and California Senator Barbara Boxer. Mr. de Posada is connected with a host of conservative or Republican causes. He was co-director on Americans for Border and Economic Security with Dick Armey. He served as director of Hispanic Affairs at the RNC. And Latinos for Reform also shares an address, a post office box, with Susan Arsenault, one of the people behind the Swift Boat Veterans for Truth. That organization, you may recall, was the one that trashed 2004 presidential candidate John Kerry with lies about his service in Vietnam. But Mr. de Posada claims that there is no connection. Of course not. In 2008, he says, because the laws were so strange, we hired a political compliance company that handled our reporting and accounting. Well, that was Arsenault. And during that time, Swift Boat Veterans for Truth used her P.O. box, he says. What a wonderful coincidence. Now let's bring in the Director for Immigration and National Campaigns for the National Council of La Raza, Clarissa Martinez. Thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let me start with this. Is it a good idea, if you want political power in this country, to not vote?
Absolutely not. It's very clear to all of us that the only way you can make progress is to stand up and be counted. Not only our efforts to tell anyone to stay home un-American, but we have to acknowledge that too many people fought too hard and too long to give the rest of us the right to vote, no matter what gender, ethnicity, or race you are. So there's no other word to describe an effort that attempts to have voters stay home than un-American.
All right, now, do you think there's any chances of real frustration from the Democratic side or any side that says, hey, wait a minute, now the Democrats didn't deliver, so maybe we should sit this one out? Or do you think it's just a Republican trick here to make sure Latinos don't vote?
Look, there is no question that Latino voters, like many other Americans, are frustrated with lack of progress on a number of issues. Where it comes to immigration in particular, given the promises from the president, the number of deportations that are splitting families apart, we are frustrated and we want Democrats to push harder. But frankly, as a community, we have also seen a united brick wall on the Republican side, when in the past there used to be collaboration and bipartisan work. We believe that in order for us to make progress, we have to hold and keep the pressure on both parties. Staying home is not going to do that.
And so what do you do, though? Because that's a tricky question. Now, if you think you've lost the Republicans and they're not voting in your interest, if you think that, and the Democrats are not pushing forward, well, how do you push them? How do you make change happen?
Well, the first thing I should say in regard to this particular episode regarding Nevada is that, frankly, if you wanted to tap Latino frustration over lack of progress on immigration, it's just ludicrous that you would run this ad in that state. After all, Harry Reid, there are plenty of Democrats out there who might be sitting on the sidelines on this issue, but Harry Reid is not one of them. If you have a bone to pick with him on his positions, you should do so, but that's not what this ad is doing. And in order to what to do in this case, I think the clearest choice for Latinos is that we are seeing a lot of demonization of our community, and that growing alarm may mean that November for us is an opportunity to vote for respect and for candidates who are going to denounce the demonization of this or any other community. They should be able to stand for what they believe on the issues without attacking one community or another.
All right, Clarissa Martinez from the National Council of La Raza, thank you so much for your time tonight.
Thank you.